Hey, what's up everyone? So today I'm gonna be talking a little bit about life as a CS on a cruiser. So I was on the Port Royal CG73. Hey, what's up everyone? So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about life of a CS on a cruiser. So my first ship was the USS Port Royal CG73 in Hawaii. So Hawaii was my first duty station, so I got really lucky. So a day in the life of a CS. So of course, as we all know, we're going to be working long hours. So we're going to be the first ones up and most likely the last ones to leave the ship, as well as the engineers. The engineers are always working really hard. So breakfast is normally from 06 to 0700. So of course, you gotta be in the galley around 4:30 to 5 in the morning to start breakfast. So normally a watch consists of about 2 cooks on watch and a watch captain. So there's 3 of you total cooking in the galley. So you get in there around 4:30 or 5 and start breakfast. And so if you're living on the ship, of course, it's going to be a lot easier on you because all you got to do is just get out of your rack, brush your teeth, put on some deodorant, hopefully take a shower. It's really like a 30-second walk from berthing to the galley. But if you live off base or in the barracks, you have to get up a lot earlier to make sure you are there on time to help prep the meal. So after breakfast, normally you have quarters, which is pretty much just a meeting where all your chiefs and your officer and your first classes talk to you about all the things that are going to happen throughout the day. So after quarters, you start working on lunch with the rest of your cooks on watch and the galley watch captain. So if it's a normal working day, of course, it's only going to be that specific watch. So depending on the type of people you work with will determine how early you get off work. So if you have a bunch of people that actually work or hard workers, you're gonna get off at a good time. If you have a bunch of people who are lazy and don't really like working, then some other people are gonna have to pick up the slack and then just try to get everything done, and then it's just a mess. It's a lot harder on everyone. So once you get into the galley, you're most likely gonna be working on a 5 and 2 schedule. So it's pretty much you work 5 days of the week and you have 2 off, or vice versa. You have 5 days off of the week and then work 2 days of it. So you're going to be separated between 2 watches, port and starboard watch. So it has nothing to do with left or right. It's pretty much 2 different groups. So let's say I'm port watch. I'm the watch captain and I have 2 cooks on watch under me. And starboard watch is a different watch captain and have 2 different cooks on watch under them. So that helps when it comes to just dividing the work, and so you won't have to work every single day. So here is pretty much this 5 and 2 schedule. So you got Monday, the whole week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. So let's say I am port watch again. So I just got off from the weekend and the starboard watch worked. So Monday morning, starboard watch is gonna cook the breakfast, and then they're gonna get relieved by me and my watch, port watch. So after they get relieved, I'm going to be my cooks on watch and myself, we're going to be cooking the rest of lunch and dinner. So we're going to be working Tuesday and we're going to be making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then come Wednesday, we're only going to make breakfast. And then we're going to get relieved by the starboard watch. So the starboard watch is going to cook lunch and dinner. And they're going to work all day Thursday. So then Friday comes in. Starboard watch, they make breakfast and then they get relieved by us again. And we're gonna be making lunch and dinner, and then of course working the rest of the weekend. So that's how that 5 and 2 schedule works. So after the weekend, we're gonna come in again. We're gonna come in Monday morning and we're only gonna make breakfast while the starboard watch relieves us. So that would be technically your working 5 days of the week and getting 2 off, or having 5 days off the week and we're only working 2. So that is your 5 and 2 schedule. So the only reason you'll be able to have that is if everyone, of course, works together and the galley operations are working smoothly. If not, then you're gonna work there's like a schedule called 12 and 2, so you pretty much work 12 days in a row and have 2 off. The only reason you would ever have that is if just the galley operations are just not great. People aren't doing their part and just not pulling their own weight. So you're pretty much working every single day, long day, short day. I mean, it's not fun. So you gotta make sure you're doing what you're supposed to in order to have that 5 and 2 schedule. So a lot of times I know we do work long hours, but at the same time we do have a good amount of time off in order to get done whatever we need to get done, like all these qualifications and just really anything that we need to get done. It's really what you make of it, honestly. When it comes to qualifications, a lot of times you're gonna have to do them on your off time because we do work long hours. So when we do work long hours, we're just gonna be there all day before the sun comes up, and we're gonna leave after the sun goes down, as well as the engineers. They're always working too. One of the main qualifications you could get on the ship is your ESWAS, your Enlisted Surface Warfare pin. So it's this one right here. So this is my primary pin, and of course this is my secondary, my air warfare. So this pin, I got it on my first ship, the Port Royal. So I don't want to say it's hard, but it's really up to you. How much time and effort you put into it will determine how long it takes you to get your pin. So all you gotta do is pretty much get your basic quals. You have to get all your prereqs. So depending on your rank will determine on what prerequisites you have to get your pin. So after that, you get assigned your book. This isn't your ESOS book, but it's roughly the same. It's just a book, and there's a bunch of pages that have to be signed by different rates. So it might be either 1 or 2 of these books with a bunch of pages. You have to walk around the ship and get it signed by a bunch of different rates, like SCGs, QMs, FCs, or some gunner's mates, HTs, DC men. All these different rates have to sign your book. So after you get your book signed, you have to take a test. It's like pretty much a multiple choice test. And after you pass your test, you have to do an oral board. So your oral board is maybe about 5 people you're in there with that do a board with you. And then there's going to be probably like 4 or 5 people just asking you questions. So I remember my oral board was probably like 3 hours. It was intense. They were just asking questions, asking each one of us questions. It was hard, but I ended up getting my pin. You get to walk around the ship and see some of the work other rates have to do. You can walk into people's spaces like the pilot house, or even like the sonar room with our the SCGs work at, or some of the really cool engineering spaces. So you can see that ship's engine, you can see all kinds of cool stuff. So I remember there's this one part where we had to draw out how the ship was capable of sucking in that salt water from the sea and going through all this filtration system to make it potable water. It's a very complex process, but it's one of the things that I remember that I had to learn for my ESOS. So it's a lot of really cool information about the ship that you end up learning. And other things. So I remember before deployment, we had to get qualified shooting the 25 mic and then the 50 caliber. That was really fun. So I have a video of it. And I don't think that was me, but that was one of my friends. But I took a video of them shooting I think that was a 25 mic. And then I didn't think I took a video of me using the 50 cal, but it was fun. It was scary too, because I've never handled a weapon other than the one in boot camp, the 9mm pistol or the 12 gauge shotgun. So these are pretty big weapons that you have to use. So there was no target. We just had to shoot in the water because we were in the middle of the ocean. There was no sea animals around, of course. We were just shooting in the water, just trying to get comfortable using the actual weapon. And I had a lot of fun. When it comes to berthing, living on the ship, so it's not always that great. I mean, once you first get check on board, most likely you're gonna have to be living in the berthing, so you have like 3 racks, and you live like in the little cube, so there's probably like a foot in between both racks, so there's like 6 racks total in a cube. So it's really up to preference where you like to sleep. I always like the bottom rack or the middle rack. I don't like that top rack because you have to climb up, and it's just, I don't know, in case that ship like rolls or it rocks really hard. I don't know, I have a fear of like maybe falling off my rack, but I always preferred the bottom or middle. It's just a lot easier. I mean, there's this one time on the ship when I used to live on the ship, there's like this pipe that busted in the ship, and there was like water going everywhere, but it was during the night, so nobody really heard it. So one of the engineers was rowing, and they found that there was like a bunch of water on the deck, so they ended up calling an alarm, and it was a long night because our berthing, all that water ended up going into the supply berthing. So there was a bunch of water on the deck, and nobody really noticed. When they woke us up, everyone was yelling, "Oh, there's a flood, there's a flood. There's water on the deck." And there was like about almost 6 inches of salt water on the deck, and we didn't really, I don't know, I mean, everyone was asleep, so nobody really noticed anything. So at that time, I was sleeping on the bottom rack, so all the people who had bottom racks, all that salt water went into our racks, and it messed up all of our stuff. So it messed up all of our electronics, personal belongings, because it was a bunch of salt water, and it just corroded a bunch of things. So it was a long night, so I had to also work that next morning. As a CS, so you're going to be doing a bunch of other things other than cooking. So before we get underway, I had to man it was aft lookout watch. So I pretty much put on my headset, and then I'm on the fan tail, which is the back of the ship, and I just look out for any type of, I mean, maybe ships or any type of sea animals, make sure we don't hit them, or just try to communicate with the bridge, let them know if there's like anything around or like any type of threat. So that's what I did before we went underway. I mean, there's a bunch of other things you could do. I mean, everyone's going to be in a repair locker, which pretty much means you're going to be combating fires or help the engineering team and other raids combat fires. So when I was in the repair locker, a lot of the times I was in the actual team, the firefighting team. So I had to don all of my firefighting equipment and just pretty much do whatever the team leader had me do. So you're gonna have to be doing a lot of drills as well, a lot of general quarters drills to make sure the training is effective and we know what to do in case there's a legit casualty on the ship. I mean, I think when it comes to casualties, the only one I ever experienced was that flood. Fires, I don't think I ever, oh wait, there was a fire in the galley. It was a Charlie fire, one of the ovens. I'm not sure what happened. It malfunctioned or something, and it caught on fire. There was like a Charlie fire, and then one of the engineers came with their proper extinguisher and extinguished the fire. When we were on deployment, I went outside with a couple friends, and then we just saw some dolphins just swimming just next to the ship. A lot of times you might see that. It's really, really cool to see a bunch of dolphins just swimming or jumping across the water next to the ship. And then underways, the sunsets are so beautiful. So once you get underway or on deployment, it's just so nice to go outside and see the sunset or sunrise. Here's a video of an unrep, underway replenishment. So when it comes to unreps, I also had a station. I was on, I think it was called the P&D line. So it's pretty much a line that we have to hold between two ships, both of the ships, which determines the distance of the ship so we won't like crash with it. So I have a video here of when we were doing an underway replenishment. So right now we are getting some pallets. So you can see the helo getting a pallet and flying it over to our ship. I'm not sure if it's food or supplies, and then you could also tell that line between the ship. That's how we transfer fuel between that line. That's the fuel line. So when we're underway in the middle of the ocean, that's how we get our supplies or fuel, through the unreps. I know a lot of people hate on this rate and say a lot of mean things about us, but I really do enjoy being a CS. This is what I picked from the beginning. I know a lot of people ask me like what other rate I would want to do, but I honestly don't think I would want to do anything but this. I think this is it can be fun. You meet a lot of great people, and being a CS, you're pretty much in the heart of the ship. So you see every single person, all these different types of rates. So you're capable of making a lot of friends on the ship that are not in your little CS community. So it's pretty cool.